Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. I've been toying with the idea of restarting my channel because back in the day I did have a channel when I was about 13, and as much as I loved doing it, it was very cringe, and obviously everyone got their hands on the videos and had a bit of a laugh about them at school, so I thought get rid of it. And now that I'm in my 20s, I thought maybe it's a good time to try again. And I absolutely love watching reading videos on YouTube, so I have decided to give it a try. So for today's vlog, I will be reading 3 books chosen by my best friend. I sent her a choice between 2 and she's picked one for me. If I can figure out how to do it, then I'll show you here the options and her picking. But for the sake of the video, I am going to show you the 2 books and which one she chose. She didn't give any explanation for any of the picks, so vibes of the cover alone she has gone off of. She doesn't know anything about these books. I just sent her a picture of the covers and she chose one. So first off, I sent her Ready or Not by Cara Baston, don't know how she says it, which all I know about this is that there's a pregnancy trope in it, and unpopular opinion, I quite love a pregnancy trope. Obviously not in real life, but books, love it. And Abby Jimenez's Part of Your World. I've never read anything by Abby Jimenez before, so I'd say of the 2, I probably wanted this one more just to like break the ice, get into it. But my friend chose Ready or Not, so that will be, I don't know what order I'll read them in, but this will be one of the books for today's vlog. Next, I sent her You With a View by Jessica Joyce and Hate Mail by Donna Marchetti? I don't know how to say that again. I'm really bad with names, so hopefully I get better with time. And once again, the vibe for this one was just ones I thought would be cute to read in the summer. This one's probably got the more summery vibes and the cover is so cute. But my friend chose Hate Mail, which again, I don't really know much about this. I think it's like a childhood enemies to lovers, maybe? That's the vibes I get, but I don't know. And I've heard good things about all of the books that were chosen, luckily. And finally, and I would say most excitingly, I asked her to pick between Leather and Lark by Brim Weaver, which is the sequel to Butcher and Blackbird, which I think I gave a 5-star when I read it. I read it so quickly. And Brutal Prince by Sophie Lark, which would be my first Sophie Lark book. This one I think is a mafia romance, and this one is between, serial killers. That's what the first one was about, but I know this one involves a lot of violence and the killing in graphic detail again. And lucky for me, she chose Leather and Lark, which is one of my most anticipated reads of the year. So let's crack on. About a week since I started filming this. I've managed to read 1.5 books so far. I started with Leather and Lark because it was the one I was most anticipating. I am a bit late to the game with this one, so I have heard that it's not as good as Butcher and Blackbird was, which is fair enough. Butcher and Blackbird was easy 5-star for me. Their banter was great. I'm not a gory girly, but after reading that, serial killer is my vibe. I read the Mindfuck series afterwards, and that was also a pretty like 4-5 stars for me. This, however, it's not as good. It didn't have the same appeal, the same vibes. It was still good. Once I'd like separated it from Butcher and Blackbird in my mind, it was a 4-star, a low 4-star, but still a 4-star. Yeah, it was just one of those where I was reading it so quickly, but like I felt nothing was actually happening. There was a marriage of convenience, which I do like, and like the references to the marriage and like you're my wife, your last name is my last name, that sort of thing, were nice, but I could get that from a different book. It didn't need the killing for me. So it's a low 4-star, maybe a 3.75 if I wanted to get picky, but I try not to be because that, obviously I can't log that on Goodreads, so it's a 4 on Goodreads. It's okay. Moving on. Today, however, I've started Hate Mail by Donna Marchetti. I was wholeheartedly going to say the wrong name if I didn't check then. This is okay. Again, I didn't really know what to expect going into this. I've only seen one other person read it. It's like a rivals to lovers, I think. But the only part that I'm really enjoying is I'm bored, but I'm bored. Is the actual letters. They're pen pals from back in the day. It's been 2 years, and there was no communication for 2 years, and suddenly she's getting letters from him again, which is fun. I like reading the letters and seeing how they spoke to each other back in the day, because they didn't know each other in person. The letters in the present they're okay. He's teasing a bit, but other than that, I am bored. I hope this picks up because I was excited for this. You know, it's got a really cute cover. You know, the premise is pretty unique. I've not read anything with pen pals before, so hopefully it picks up. I'm on page 149 of 366, so hopefully I enjoy it more by the end, because this will be really like a letdown of a video if all we get is a 3 and a 3.75, and who knows what Ready or Not will be. I'm hoping that one as well, that I really enjoyed, because that one has been sat on my TBR since it came out and I just haven't picked it up. Like, I was meant to read that back in spring and it just didn't happen. So let's finish this and see if my mind changes or if it's gonna be a 3. Also, I completely forgot to mention, I got 2 new tattoos. So I have Lightning McQueen on one arm. I got it today, hence the Lightning McQueen shirt. That was like the reference picture. And I got the sun on my other arm. These are matching with my parents, and my mum's got the sun, and then my dad got Mater. I think they're awesome. Like, look at that. And I've got one on the back of my arm that I already had, and a butterfly on the back of this one. So hopefully I can get some more, because I have so many ideas. this mosquito, and I've had to put some cream on it to make it stop hurting. Obviously, horrible place to have a bite. But I have finished the books for this week, and I'm ready for my final reviews. I've sat on, 2 of them I've sat on, and then 1 of them I finished today, but it made me sob like a baby. So, as you know, I started with Leather and Lark by Brim Weaver. After, it's been about a week since I finished this one, I think it's a 3-star. It's gone down. After reading 2 more books, I was like, it's not really a 4-star. It's definitely a 3. It was good, but it wasn't as good as Picture and Blackbird. I think I said before I was trying to separate the 2 because I sort of knew this one had lower ratings overall, but it's a 3. Even like amongst other romance, other darker romance, it's not just, how do I articulate? It just didn't have that little pizzazz that I look for in some romances. You know when you just get like the tingles of like a 5-star, or even sometimes with a 4-star I get the tingles, but they sort of wear off, or like they don't last long enough to be a 5. This just didn't have any of it for me. It was very middle of the road. I'll recommend it, but I wouldn't go out of my way to read it again or anything. So, bit of a disappointment, but it's fine, we move. Second, I read Hate Mail by Donna Marchetti. I will eventually remember this author's name. It will happen, I'm sure. This one I've actually grown fonder of since reading it. So this one is definitely a solid 4 for me. Although, saying that, I cannot remember what the guy's name in it is. Luca. In my head, his name was Leo. I knew what he was called. I don't know. I thought I knew, but I didn't, clearly. I think this was a really good concept. Again, maybe the execution could have been a bit better. I was bored in some bits. I think, again, I definitely said I was really bored at the start. But it definitely picked up, so I think this is a 4. I would read it again, and I would recommend it. And then, finally, I think I was very right to be the most excited for Ready or Not by Cara Bastone? Again, terrible with name pronunciation, but hopefully I'll get there. This was so good. I stopped reading it when I was about this far through. I think I was about 80% through. I just didn't want to finish it. Like, I was so overwhelmed with how much I loved the characters. Shep is adorable. Ethan, also pretty cute, pretty adorable. And the whole premise, like, I don't read many pregnancy romances, pregnancy books, anything like that. I am a sucker for the pregnancy trope though. It is one of my favourites, and this just did it so well. This was an easy 5-star. Like, it made me cry. I love Shep. He is like #1 book boyfriend at the moment, and just everything about it was just so sweet. Please, if you haven't, I highly recommend Ready or Not. Please read it, I beg. But with all that said and done, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you next week.